Hi, I hope everybody's doing good and keeping well. I'm here with Matt Duimering of Reverence Barrel Works. He's going to give us a little insight about the new brewery that he's opening up in Cambridge, Ontario. So say hi, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
So tell us a little bit about your brewery.
So we are a small brewery, mainly focused on barrel-aged styles and specifically on mixed and alternate fermentation. So using non-conventional yeasts to try and get different flavors and just more exciting beers into the public. So we do everything from 3% historic Berliner Weisses all the way up to 11.9% imperial pastry stouts.
Give us a bit of a history about yourself. How did you get into brewing?
So about, I think it was 6, maybe 7 years ago, time flies at this point, right? I was in college and I was trying to think, how can I save a little bit of money? And I looked at the raw ingredients needed to make beer. Oh, I can make beer way cheaper than I drink beer, which is every home brewer, they think that. And then you end up spending way too much money because you want the fanciest equipment to make the best beer and all that. So got into home brewing, wasn't too bad at it. And then one day decided to have a go at making, a breaded sour beer. Let it sit for a few months and I just remember tasting it and being like, whoa, this is good. So I gave the samples to some people that I trust, beer judges and stuff like that. And this is really good. So I started to sort of find a niche and started to go into more unconventional brewing. So that's kind of where I got started with it. Got onto a business plan, started looking for investors, and long story short, wound up here with now a little over 100 barrels full of delicious beer, lots of bottles out of package ready to go. Yeah.
What's the benefit of barrel aging a beer opposed to not barrel aging something?
So for me, the barrel is the fifth ingredient that's missing in a lot of beers. It brings another aspect to it. You can have great Russian Imperial stouts in stainless, but the moment it hits a bourbon barrel, the flavor is out of this world unique and just delicious. And also with tons of liquid that sits around aging for a long time, barrels are much cheaper than stainless.
And what kind of barrels would you typically be using?
So a little over half of our stock is, a little under half of our stock is red wine barrels. Our first batch of barrels that we got was from California, from the Napa Valley. We're hoping in the future that we're going to be able to work with local wineries and get their used barrels. We have some whites for doing some experiments in, oaky Chardonnay barrels, and then a whole plethora of different spirit barrels from bourbon to rum, cognac. We're hoping to get some gin barrels soon, but we'll see if that ends up happening. Gin barrels are pretty tiny and can be a bit of a pain to work with.
So what's sort of unique about your brewery? I know you're planning to do some different things that some of the other breweries aren't doing. So why don't you kind of give us a bit of a rundown of some of the unique things that you guys will be offering?
So some of the unique things that we'll be offering is we won't be like many breweries so it's not that unique right now, but many breweries are starting to go away from core brands. And mainly doing one-offs, which I love, but I also when I go out, I recognize a beer, and I'm like, oh, I've had that before, it's delicious. So one thing that we're doing is instead of doing only one-offs or only doing core brands, we're doing something like families. So for example, we will be launching with two different families, two of the same family, one each month kind of thing right now. That's our Brett Saison. We call it Assiduous. So you'll see assiduous, semicolon, and then if we put something into it. So it might be dry hopped, it might be tequila barrel aged, it might be, boatloads of orange peel, stuff like that. So that's one of the unique things that we're doing. Of course, mainly focusing on barrels, very, very little stainless makes us pretty unique. And we're not afraid to try things that are more costly. Beer drinkers are willing to pay a premium for premium beers right now. So we get to go kind of nuts with ingredients. And years ago, $12 was kind of the upper level for beer price point. Now if you look in the States, people are buying $40 bottles of beer, which is just ridiculous. So we get to do kind of whatever we want, which is awesome.
And I understand that you're going to be offering some larger sized bottles as well?
Yeah, it kind of started as a joke because I mean, there's a brewery in Toronto here that loves to do their large formats. And it's like, oh, let's just get larger formats than them. Let's be the bigger hype, which it started as a joke, and then I found a supply. So we'll have everything from a regular 500 ml format. Magnums will be a pretty regular thing, but we also have 3 liters, 6 liters, and 9 liter bottles. Yeah, they're big. They are intimidatingly large and quite heavy.
I don't even want to know how you're going to ship those.
we will not be. Those will be pickup or during the current situation doing home deliveries.
So why pick Cambridge, Ontario to open up your brewery?
So for us, we wanted to open up in the most popular area in Ontario, which was Toronto. But looking at the pricing of rent there, it just didn't work into the business plan. I grew up in the Kitchener-Waterloo region, so for me, that was just like it was home. So we went back and started exploring there. Lots of really awesome breweries are popping up in that region, like Shortfinger, Barncat, Block 3 makes a lot of solid beers, Counterpoint. So I was like, it's kind of becoming a little beer hub, and a niche brewery should work well here.
And what kind of issues did you have sort of opening up your brewery?
Without airing too much dirty laundry, a really horrible first landlord that we had to get out of a lease of and move 100 barrels of full beer and all of our equipment. Let me tell you, that was not a fun 3 days. I got to drive a big truck though, so that was kind of good. Really big truck. So that was one of the main issues. The next issue that we've kind of been having is, just figuring out what we're going to be doing with keeping beer supply on the regular. We had a plan, but right now a lot of companies' plans have been sort of thrown into the wind. So we're just developing on the go right now.
How can people get a hold of your beers?
We will be launching our first 4 beers this coming Monday, April 27th, around noonish, once we get the website fully up and going. I'm not a wizard with that, so it might be closer to 2 p.m. Let's hope, though, that it is properly for noon. We will be doing curbside pickup, home delivery, as well as shipping within Ontario. We're trying to figure out how to do Canada-wide right now, but there are some weird things going on about that.
And I understand that you're also offering a bottle club. Can you tell us a little about that?
We have some projects that we've talked about that are just not feasible from a financial standpoint, or not feasible from just a labor standpoint, or even a supply standpoint. And it's like, well, we want to do some really neat kind of beers, but it doesn't make sense to make, maybe 100 liters of beer, if that, just to sell, because it's such a small quantity. So we decided to go with a bottle club to do sort of our biggest project, best performing barrels, stuff like that. So our first beer that we're going to be doing that is a Imperial Stout that was aged in a red wine barrel with some Brettanomyces. It's got some funk going on. It's got some really vinous qualities. And then we went out and harvested buckets of wild grapes, and then transferred the beer onto those grapes, aged them for 3, maybe 4 months. I got to check notes on that. And then we ended up packaging it, so it's got this really cool herbal and big blackberry hit to it, which we don't usually get in the stout. It's a really cool project that we're able to work on.
Looking forward to that, and hopefully you guys will obviously have a tap room open at some point in time.
At some point, yeah. Right now it's just a concrete pad basically. But we got plans. There's spray paint on the concrete pad, so you can pretend to be there.
So how do people get a hold of you?
So getting a hold of me, the best way is to either send me a DM. I run our Instagram. So anyone that has questions, like when the bottle club went up for sale, I had a lot of questions, so I sat there for hours with those people. Or you can go on our website, and there's a contact us. Reverence Barrel Works at gmail.com is just sort of our general email for all those inquiries.
Well, looking forward to you guys opening up and trying your beers, obviously. That's Matt Duimering from Reverence Barrel Works. Make sure you check out his stuff. He's got some good stuff really on the go. I've had some stuff in the past, and excellent stuff. So again, thank you for the time.
Hey, thank you, Como.
Thanks. So see you guys next time.